Well, this is day 23 of my recovery journey, and today I thought I'd do something different. I was going to tell you about my first attempt in recovery, because although I've got over 4 years sober now, at one point I'd reached 9 months, and then I decided to go back out and test the waters. So I thought I'd share my story because this might really resonate with some people. Because at the end of the day, one thing that I learned is just because you're not using doesn't mean you're fully immersed in recovery. So I'd been sober for 9 months. I hadn't been gambling, hadn't been doing drugs, hadn't been doing anything at all. I hadn't changed my playmates and my playgrounds, and I was still hanging out with some good friends who made music. And I lived in La Crosse at the time, and La Crosse has a festival called Oktoberfest. All you alcoholics out there will know exactly what that is. And La Crosse as well has the largest number of bars in a mile in the country. It's crazy. So at the time I was seeing a counsellor as well as going to AA, and I had decided that I was in control. First mistake. I hadn't fully surrendered. I hadn't given up my will. And I decided I wanted to prove to myself that I could still drink or I could still use without getting drunk. I could stop, I could control it, it didn't control me. So it was Oktoberfest, and I was with my friends, and I decided, and I had a couple of beers, and I did only have 2 beers, I did not get drunk. And then that evening, I was out, and I smoked a couple of joints. And so within the space of a day, I'd completely given up my 9 months of sobriety. But I didn't continue using. And I was then in a bar having breakfast about 3 days later, and I had money in my pocket, and gambling was my main vice. It really was. I couldn't go into a bar that had machines in it without walking out there without a penny in my pockets. And I was in the bar and I was shooting, I think I was playing pool and playing darts, and I noticed as I went past the machine that it had 10 cents in it. And I decided that I would play that 10 cents just to prove that I could do it without putting any money in it. So I had given up my sobriety in both alcohol, smoking weed, and gambling in the space of 4 days. So I went to my counsellor, and I think it was maybe like a few days after that I went to my counsellor and I was talking about it. And I was discussing it, and I was like, well, you see, I felt I'd done really well. You see, I'd been able to drink without getting drunk, and I'd been able to smoke without doing anything else, and not doing it again for days or without buying anything, and I'd been able to play the machine without putting my own money in it. I thought I was awesome. I thought I conquered this thing. And then my counsellor Mark said something to me that really stuck with me, and it's stuck with me ever since then, and it's one of the things that's kept me sober. And what he told me was this. Now, are you listening up? Because this is a real gem. He said, you know, Kevin, maybe you can go back out there and you can start drinking again. And, maybe you'll be fine for a year. Maybe you'll be fine for 10 years. But by going out there and testing that, what you're doing is it's like a domino rally. You remember when you line up all the dominoes and you knock over that first domino, and eventually they're all going to fall down because they all run into each other. Well, going out there and testing my sobriety and testing my drinking or my gambling is like going out there and knocking over that first domino. You've started the ball to roll again, and you don't know where it's going to stop. I might have been able to continue drinking for the rest of my life, or it might have taken me 2 weeks before I was drinking a bottle of vodka a day. Did I really want to go back to that life I'd given up? What was it that was so important to me? What was I gaining? What was good about that life I had previously when I was drinking, gambling, or doing drugs? And the answer was honestly nothing. There really was nothing there for me. I really had to be completely willing to surrender. So I'd gone through the steps, but I hadn't really fully let go. I hadn't accepted. So I went back to the program and I started again. And this time, I really got out of my own way. I made sure that I did things because that's what I was told to do. I tried not to question why I was doing it, And I tried to take the experience, the strength and hope of everyone else in those rooms who had been there and done it for years before me. And so far, one day at a time, I'm doing great and I'm still sober. So I really hope that someone out there that maybe suffered a relapse recently and who's just gone back into the rooms, or was thinking about testing out, they've been there for a while and maybe I can test this out. I really hope this message reaches out to you and makes you think again and realize that, is it really worth it? Do you have to do that? I did it and I was lucky I was able to get back in the rooms, and I was lucky, I didn't go off the deep end. But I'm not going to do it again because I don't need to test that. I have an amazing life now. I have an amazing girlfriend. I have an amazing business. I have an amazing opportunity to help other people just like this. And I can't let myself down, and I can't let down everyone else who's following me. So thanks again, guys, for joining me, and I really, really hope that you're getting something out of this. Please comment below and let me know what else you'd like me to talk about, other things that I can share with you. So you have a fantastic rest of your day, and congratulations on making this step in your life and joining the recovery community and finding that strength within and that strength outside of you from your higher power, your God, to be able to turn your life around and to be able to understand how to live without the need for alcohol, drugs, or whatever your addiction is. So congratulations, because you're awesome, because there's so many people out there right now that haven't even made that step to accept they have a problem. So you watching this right now and you're in recovery, you're already winning. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.